Hi, this is Honey Stearns, Fish and Loaves Ministries, and I'm here today to welcome you to another amazing and an ad lib kind of a talk today. It's Saturday, and I had a different kind of a leading this morning. Rather than talking from something from my blog, I'm going to speak to you just straight from the heart, something that occurred to me this morning about my new piano lessons. I am excited because at 69 and a half years young, I'm finally learning how to play the piano. This was something I was urged to do when I was 13 years old. I had a piano in my house, I grew up with one. My mother played, and I even raised my daughter on the piano starting at fourth grade, and she became fabulous at it and a talented musician. So here I am trying to learn the piano, and I don't want to miss this opportunity to do that. And the reason is because I love the Lord, and I love one of the great forms of worship that we can offer Him, one of many, is singing and playing musical instruments, because really God made us an instrument of praise. When we got born again, that's what we became. When we sing and we pray and we just lift up our voice in song to welcome His Spirit and presence, enjoy His presence, and sit at His feet with music and ears to hear and eyes to see and hearts to receive all that He is, how amazing and big and awesome He is. It's a wonderful experience, and I hope many of you get the chance to do that in your life one way or another. Now, not all of us are gifted to sing. I don't profess to be the greatest singer on the planet. There's certainly many that are much better than I. But my voice is really for an audience of one, and it should be the same with all of us. God doesn't mind how we sound. What matters is our heart, and that we love Him and we want to sing. So when I looked at the piano this morning, it kind of hit me. I'm looking at these keys and I'm thinking, okay, here's the level I'm at. Pretty simple and basic, right? It's like ABCs all over again. It's like first grade all over again. What I'm learning about reading music is when we look at a piece of music, a staff, a treble clef and a bass clef, and the rests and the quarter beat and the half note and the whole note and how many beats that is. And you look at it and it looks like Greek to me. It's a different language altogether. It's different than reading a book with letters from A to Z. It's completely different language. And what I was thinking when I looked at that today, I thought about that as being its own language of love, its own way of singing praise to God, because all music really is designed to worship Him. It's all designed to honor Him. But learning to read music is definitely a challenge. When I asked my teacher if I could just kind of skip this page and go on to the next one because that part looked a little bit more fun than this page that was a little more confusing, she said, you don't want to do that, because that would like be first graders trying to jump into fifth grade without the second, third, and fourth in between, and it really doesn't work. When we started learning how to read the English language, we had to start with A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then we had to start with short little words that were like 3 letters long, 2 letters long, very, very simple stuff. And at that time, funny enough, was we didn't get frustrated with it because we didn't know what we didn't know back then. And now we look at this music, and my teacher told me, because I have been a singer and a worshiper for so many years, that part of me is more advanced. Even though I haven't been reading music, I just have an ear for music, and I have a gift for that. I have a passion for that God put in my heart. But now here I come trying to learn this instrument so I can play and worship together. And I try to look at this music so I can read and follow that and learn more complicated stuff until I get to a point where I can play the piano without even looking at a piece of music. Now that's something that would be an accomplishment for sure. But I got a little ways to go before I get to that place. And it's like the Bible. When we read the Bible, that's God's language of love. It's His love letter to us. And the most amazing part about Him is it says, I love you from Genesis to Revelation. All of it. Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, Ezra, Esther, Nehemiah, all of it. All of it. Acts, Romans, Corinthians, every single word in the Bible is a letter of love. Love, what does love do? Love is kind. Love is patient. Love helps. Love directs. Love isn't prideful, boastful, doesn't try to do things its own way. The whole purpose of love is to help somebody else. And that's what God is doing for us when we read the Bible, when we read His Word, when we get in His presence, when we worship, or if we have a quiet time with Him in the morning and we just kind of are listening and we're just kind of meditating on things and digesting all of that. As I'm learning this piano, I have been doing just that. I'll be sitting around at some point in the day and I'll start picturing that staff, the treble clef staff and the bass clef staff in my mind, because I'm trying to make the connection between what I know the keys are on the piano to what I'm reading there on the paper without having to stop and think about it. So I'm thinking about, well, the bass clef has got, the F is where the two dots are. So what's the next one up and what are the next two down from that? And I'm rehearsing that over and over and over again in my mind. Same thing for the treble clef. Everything's opposite. Right hand does this side, left hand does this side, and it's exactly the opposite. So one's going up, the other one's going down, and you have to put all that together in your head and make it sound like something that would be pleasant to listen to. And I think, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm so far from that. But I can't skip those steps. And the same thing applies to us as Christians. Somebody was just asking me about evangelizing. And there's steps to all of that. I remember when I bumbled and fumbled around so bad the first few years I was trying to witness to people and lead them to Jesus, because I have a strong calling for that. Amongst other things, that's one of the pieces, but we're all called to be evangelists and to witness to the Lord Jesus Christ and let people know about Him. But the problem that we often run into is that when we face opposition from somebody, we think we got to come at it full force, just hit them right between the eyes. Oh, that's God. That's got to be God. See that? And they're like, whatever. They don't really want to hear it. They don't understand it. Christians are hypocrites. But it's when we run into those kinds of things that we stop and we just start asking questions so we can cause a person to think. Well, and that's what the Bible does for us as Christians. Why do we go to church? We're Christians. Why do we go to church? Why do we read the Bible? We have to have that language of love filling our heart and mind every day. We know that there is an enemy out there trying to upset us, hurt us, come against us, put negative thoughts in our head, cause us to meditate on those negative thoughts. And then it just messes up a day. But when I woke up this morning, I slept in today. I didn't jump up at 4:30 like I do during the week. I slept all the way up, didn't get out of that bed till almost 8 o'clock in the morning. And I felt rested and I felt good and peaceful. So when I came in here to sit with the Lord this morning, I just kind of came in real easy and just sat there with Him. And I wrote some things in my journal and I was meditating and thinking. And then I looked at the Word and let the Word speak to me, just like I'm looking at this music and letting it speak to me on how to play this piano. It's all an instrument of praise, whether we're going to work, whether we're helping somebody with insurance, whether we're playing a piano, whether we're teaching a child or witnessing to a neighbor or someone we see all the time at the gym, or whether we're reading the Bible. It's all part of life. It's all part of what we do each day, taking care of our family, loving our husband and children and our puppies and our kitties. All of those things are a part of life, and it's all for Jesus. It's all a language of love. He doesn't ever mean any harm for us. And so today, my friend, I want to encourage you from personal experience that it doesn't matter how old we get, young we are, whatever, we're all in a process of improving. We have so many things that we don't know. God knows everything about everything. And there's no man on the planet that can even come close to His knowledge. No man can figure Him out, nor can any man really help us with what we need. It's only Him. It's only God. Abba, Daddy, God. He's so loving. He's so good. He's kind to us. So today, think about learning a little bit more about His love. think about understanding who he really is to you and how much he really cares for you. And just lean up against his chest and hear his heartbeat. Hear his I love yous. And remember, we love you too. As always, we encourage you to look on our website and get the latest copy of my new devotional, week by week, day by day. It's wonderful. It's simple. It's not long. You can meditate on one piece for a whole week, and instead of trying to cram a lot of stuff in, because we're all studying many things and many times we have short attention spans. So check that out at fishandlovesministries.org. And you can look me up on YouTube with my name, Hani Stearns, and we certainly welcome your emails to hanilyn05@gmail.com. We love praying for people. We do it every day. We're getting new requests every day, and we really, really enjoy what the Lord is doing through us and through you. God bless you, my friend, and make it a wonderful day.